What's good, fellas? Welcome back to the channel. I'm B, and today we're talking about the world of fragrances. In fact, we're talking about what a cheap fragrance says about you. Now, fellas, I've been doing this fragrance review thing for quite some time, and as you can see, I've been diving into the world of fragrance on my own. And what I've learned over time from doing reviews here on YouTube is that the fragrance culture, the world of fragrance, has so many different types of fragrance collectors. You have the niche folks, or the niche snobs. You have the designer lovers, or the designer snobs. You also have a new breed, which happens to be the EDT haters. You have the clone house representatives, and you have the wide variety, I don't care if I like it, I'ma buy it type of collector. But there's also some collectors out there who says, hey, I just need something cheap, and here's what it says about you. First off, let's start with the visual representation of a cheap fragrance, from the bottle all the way over to the presentation. Essentially, with cheap fragrances, a lot of times you're getting a no-frills packaging. You're not going to get extra boxes or keys or any of that stuff that comes along with it that might not necessarily be needed. You know, team fuck the box. We're getting something that's really no frills and really focused on the product at hand, which happens to be the fragrance. I mean, truly, when you think about it, although the packaging and the presentation of the fragrance might not be the most appealing, it does say something about you. Maybe you value substance over style, or you're a practical individual out there who you really are just saying, hey, I care about what this fragrance smells like. That is it. That is all. Because it's truly what's on the inside that counts, right? Next, let's unravel the scent profile of these wallet-friendly fragrances. And oftentimes, these fragrances are met with synthetic ingredients, which is not too much different than some of the expensive fragrances that we experience out there as well. But they also have straightforward compositions, and they're generally speaking not too complex. In fact, if you're a foodie like me, you think of inexpensive fragrances or cheap fragrances, they're almost like a comfort food. They're simple, easy to understand, and easy to enjoy. But I also think it's important to understand that although these cheap fragrances may not be super complex, it doesn't mean that they don't smell good and can't brighten up your day and put a smile on your face. In fact, there are a lot of inexpensive fragrances on the market today that do just that, and people truly do love them, they enjoy them, and they also get others to enjoy them as well. That's where the compliment factor comes in, and as long as you enjoy the fragrance, the price shouldn't matter. Next up, if you're wearing cheap fragrances, it might also say that you are an occasional user of fragrances. Maybe you don't need something that's going to be a powerhouse fragrance because it's not something that you're doing all the time. Maybe you only wear fragrances once in the blue moon, and we're not talking about Killian here. These fragrances just simply could be because you need something to wear here or there in times where you need to smell a little bit better than you would traditionally smell. Maybe you're testing the waters and you say, hey, I could try that one out. Or maybe you even gotten a great recommendation and someone says, hey, if you only were just going to do one and you could spend 20 bucks on a fragrance, this could be a phenomenal pick. The fact is, they can be reliable sidekicks to enhance those special occasions in life, and you don't need to spend $600-700 bucks to do it. You can really spend $50 or less to make something happen with fragrances on a budget. And speaking of being on a budget, that's the fourth region. You could simply be on a budget, and being on a budget doesn't mean you're Scrooge and you're out here pinching pennies, but it doesn't mean that you're broke. It can mean that you are a cost-conscious shopper and that you want to grab things, but you also don't want to pay too much or overpay for anything out there, and fragrances are an easy place to overpay. To be honest, this could be a great spot for many people out there, because if you want to grow your collection without breaking the bank, then cheap and inexpensive fragrances are a phenomenal way to do that. And there's something about the thrill of finding a cheap fragrance that smells amazing, something different, something captivating that's not in everyone's collection, and that you can put them up on game. You could be like a record breaker, like DJs breaking records. Like, hey, this is the new one. Okay, you could try that out because that does work in a number of occasions. In fact, there are no hard or fast rules out there that says that you have to break the bank in order to smell amazing. In fact, there are plenty places that you can go to find fragrances that smell amazing for the low. You can try out your Burlingtons, your TJ Maxx's, and even fragrances like Graphite from Bath & Body Works can do wonders for you on a budget. Also, you could be on the Dave Ramsey plan and you just need a little bit to go a long way. And finally, we're talking about the flexibility of a cheap fragrance. With cheap fragrances, you can have the ability to explore so many fragrances and really try fragrances that may not have stood out to you originally. There may be scent profiles that you don't know if you're attracted to or not, and you begin to explore those fragrances and options begin to pile in because, well, you can get 5 or 6 fragrances for the price of one from a Macy's or Dillard's. Inexpensive fragrances grant you the right to be flexible, to explore. I mean, really, it's like the Tinder of fragrances. Swipe left or swipe right to determine what you like. So there you have it, fellas. That's what wearing a cheap fragrance says about you. Cheap fragrances tell a tale of you being practical, open-minded, and resourceful because you can find some hidden gems out there. Let me know some great cheap finds that you have picked up. As always, I'm your boy, Big B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. If you want to see what an expensive fragrance says about you, comment down below. Until next time, I'm out this thing and hit the goddamn